Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss the grammar topic subject-verb agreement. Now as the name suggests, what are we talking about? The agreement between the subject and the verb. We all know that whenever we talk about the structure of a sentence, what is the structure of a sentence? Subject plus verb plus the object. So every sentence will have a subject. Without a subject, the sentence cannot be framed. Similarly, it will have a verb. So subject will always be followed by a verb. Subject-verb agreement is that grammar topic which teaches us how to know or what to keep in mind when writing the verb with the subject. Okay, for example, if I say people is laughing, can we say people is laughing? No, this is wrong. What do we say instead? People are laughing. Why did I do that? Because people is a plural subject, and since it is a plural subject, therefore it should have a plural verb with it. Similarly, if I give you another example, the child are crying. Can we say this? The child are crying? No, this is wrong. We cannot say the child are crying. What is the correct sentence? The child is crying. Why? Because the child is a singular subject and therefore I will use a singular verb along with it. So these are a few rules. Similarly, we are going to learn, but before I move on to telling you about the rules, it is important for us to first list all the adjectives, all the verbs that we have, the helping verbs. We have is, am, are, or rather I will just tabulate them in singular and plural. So singular verbs and the plural verbs. Is, are, then am is used with singular, was is used with singular, and were is used with plural. Has is used with singular, have is used with plural, and had can be used with both singular as well as the plural. So these are my helping verbs, and I have to keep in mind that whenever I use my verb in a sentence, it has to agree with the subject. It has to be in line with the subject. Just the way I introduced you, I cannot use a singular verb with a plural subject. Similarly, I cannot use a plural verb with a singular subject. So this is what is to be remembered by each one of us. Now we will begin with the simplest examples before proceeding towards the rules. So like I told you, the girl is sitting on the bench. Since the girl is singular, I will use is with it and not are. I cannot say the girl are sitting. And I can say the girls are sitting. On the bench. So what is the difference? The girl is singular, that is why I used is with it, because it is a singular verb. The girls are plural, so I used a plural verb with it, which is are. Similarly, I can say the man was shouting at the dog. What is my subject? The man, which is singular. That is why I used a singular verb, which is was. And similarly, I will say the men. Men, we all know, is plural. So, the men were shouting at the dog. So, since the men are plural, I used a plural verb along with it. Similarly, if I give you another example, the child is crying. So, the child is singular, and what is the verb that I use? Is. Similarly, if I give you the example with the plural subject, the children are crying. So, the children are plural, and therefore we use the plural verb with it. So, a singular subject will always have a singular verb, a plural subject will always have a plural verb, and this is my first rule of subject-verb agreement, which is singular subject will have a singular verb and plural subject will have a plural verb. So, singular, singular, plural, plural, this is my first rule. The second rule of subject-verb agreement says indefinite pronouns. We have done this indefinite pronouns such as anyone, someone, everyone, no one, etc. These nouns, these subjects, these indefinite pronouns are always singular. Okay? I will never say everyone are doing the work. Rather, what will I say? Everyone is doing the work. So, everyone will always have a singular verb with it. If I give you another example, I will never say somebody have knocked the door. This is wrong. What will I say instead? Somebody has knocked the door. So, somebody takes a singular verb. If I give you another example, no one I cannot say no one are helping me. Wrong. Rather, what will I say? No one is helping me. So, indefinite pronouns like anyone, someone, somebody, everyone, everybody, no one, nobody, all these indefinite pronouns will always take a singular verb with them. Next rule that we have for subject-verb agreement is words like all and some can be either singular or plural. So, the words can be either singular or plural depending upon what they are referring to. If something can be counted, when something can be counted, we use plural with them, and something which cannot be counted, uncountable nouns, we use the singular verb with them. Now, let me explain this to you with the help of the examples. All the people are happy. I have used all and are. What is this all referring to? People which can be counted by us. That is why we used a plural verb. On the other hand, if I give you the example, all the water has fallen down. So, what are we talking about? Water. Water cannot be counted. That is why a singular verb is used with it. If I give you another example, some of the beads are missing. What are we talking about? Beads. Beads can be counted, therefore a plural verb. And if I give you the example, some of the milk has boiled. What am I talking about in this sentence? Milk, which is uncountable, therefore has is used with it. So, all and some can be either singular or plural. It depends on who is it referring to. If these words are referring to a countable noun, then we will use a plural verb with it. If these words are referring to an uncountable noun, then we will use a singular verb with it. Next rule that we have, some indefinite pronouns like everybody and everyone. Now, these words, when you speak these words, you feel that they are plural. We are talking about everybody, a lot of people we are talking about, but they always take a singular verb. So, they always take a singular verb. For example, everybody is laughing. Singular verb is used with the subject everybody. Similarly, everyone has a pen with themselves. So everyone, we use the singular subject, singular verb, which is has. Similarly, everybody was sleeping. Again, we used a singular verb with everybody. So indefinite pronouns like everybody and everyone, they seem to be singular. They seem to be plural, talking about a lot of people, but they are singular and they always take a singular verb. Okay. Next. The usage of the word each. So the usage of the word each. Now how do we use it? Each is always used again with a singular verb. For example, each of the students has done the work. Now what happens usually? The students, they read that students is plural and therefore it should have a plural verb with it. No, we have to look at each. If you have each in the sentence, it will always have a singular verb in it. Another example, each of the books is torn. So each of the books is torn. So is, although we are talking about books, which is plural, but we have to look at each, which is singular and will always take singular verb. So we are going to use the verb is with each. Next rule, phrases such as together with, as well as, along with, they are not, I'm emphasizing on the word not, they are not the same as and. That means they are not going to become plural when we use such phrases. For example, and, okay, let me explain this to you with the help of the example. The mayor as well as the council is talking about it. So the mayor, the first subject you have to look at, as well as the council is talking about it. Although we are talking about two subjects over here. We are talking about the mayor and we are talking about the council. But in this sentence, they are joined with the phrase as well as. And whenever we have this as well as, the verb will always depend on the subject which is before the phrase. For example, if this would have been the mayors as well as the council are talking about it. Now, what is the difference in these sentences? Why did I use is here and are here? Because In the first sentence, the subject before as well as was singular. Since it was singular, my verb will also be singular. In the second sentence, the subject before as well as is plural. Since it is plural, my verb will also be plural. So, in case of those sentences in which the phrases are joined with the words like together with as well as along with, we have to look at the subject before these phrases and then put the helping verb accordingly. For example, the girl together with her father has gone for a movie. We are talking about two subjects here, the girl and her father. But how have we joined these two subjects? Using together with. And what is the subject before it? The girls, which is singular. So my verb will also be singular in nature. If I give you another example, the ladies along with their kids have seen the movie. My two subjects, the ladies and their kids. How are we joining these two subjects? Using along with. Like I told you, in such phrases, we have to look at the subject before such phrases. What is my subject before it? The ladies, which is plural. Since this is plural, my helping verb will also be plural. If this would have been singular, my helping verb would also have been singular. So, phrases like together with as well as along with, whenever we use such phrases in a sentence, we have to look at the subject before them. If it is plural, we put a plural verb. If it is singular, we put a singular verb. Next, the seventh rule. Words like neither and either are singular and will always take a singular verb. So, neither and either are singular and they will always take a singular verb. For example, neither of the two brothers has completed the work. Neither, although over here the students are going to get confused, brothers is written which is plural, but I am not going to look at brothers. Rather, the only thing that I need to keep in mind is, since neither is used, I will use a singular verb with it. If I give you another example, either of them is talking aloud. Them is always plural, so we are not going to use a plural verb here. Rather, since either is used, I am always going to use a singular verb. So, either and neither will always take a singular verb. No matter what we are talking about in the sentence, they will always have a singular verb with them. Next, the usage of the word or, the conjunction or and nor. Now these two conjunctions, or and nor, are used in accordance with the subject closer to the verb. So what is it closer to is going to determine. So what is, which subject is close to the verb? That subject is going to decide whether the helping verb will be singular or plural. For example, either my brother or my sister is going to sell this. Now, like I told you, there are two subjects, brother and sister. Both of them are singular, so my verb will be singular. If I give you the example, either my brothers or my sister dash going to sell this. Now here again, we have to look at the subject which is close to the verb. What is the verb? Going. Which subject is close to going? Sister, which is singular. So my verb will also be singular. On the other hand, either my brother or my sisters dash going to sell this. Again, two subjects, brother and sisters. Which of these two is close to the verb going? Sisters, which is plural. So my helping verb is also going to be plural in nature. So in case of conjunctions or and nor, we have to look at the subject which is close to the verb, and if that subject is singular, we will put a singular helping verb. If the subject is plural, we will write a plural helping verb. Next rule. Words here and there. So words here and there are never the subjects, and thus the helping verb will depend on the subject of the sentence. So here and there, they are never the subjects, and therefore my helping verb will depend on the subject of the sentence. Now what do I mean by that? If I say, there are two apples in the basket. The first word is although there, but it is not the subject. What is my subject in the sentence? Two apples. And two apples are clearly plural, so we will write are. If I give you another example, there dash a pen in the drawer. There is not the subject. What is the subject? A pen. It is singular. So we will write the singular helping verb, which is. Similarly, here dash the two brothers. Here dash the two brothers. What is my subject? Two brothers, which is again plural. So I will use a plural helping verb, which is are. Similarly, here dash my neighbor. What is my subject? Neighbor, which is singular. So, is. So, in case of sentences which begin with words like there and here, we have to remember that there and here are not the subjects. So, we have to look at the subject and decide the helping verb according to them. If the subject is singular, we put a singular helping verb. If the subject is plural, we put a plural helping verb. Next, those verbs in simple present tense used with he, she or it will always end with either s or es. So, what does it mean? If we are talking about a verb which is in simple present tense, okay, and this verb is used with subjects, only three subjects, he, she and it, or the singular subjects you can say, we will always make sure that they end with either s or es. So, either he, she or it or the singular subjects. For example, he writes very well. He is my subject, singular. Writes is used for always the simple present tense. Therefore, we add an s to the end of it. If I give you another example, it rains heavily in Himalayas. It is my singular subject and I added s to the end of my verb, which is in simple present tense. If I give you another example, Rama speaks loudly. So, Rama speaks loudly. What is my subject? Rama, which is singular in nature. My sentence, my tense is speak, which is the simple present tense, and I will add an s to it. So, Rama speaks loudly. So, those verbs which are written in the simple present tense will always have either an s or an es to the end of them if the subject is he, she or it in the pronouns or any other subject is there. Next rule, collective nouns are always singular. Always. Collective nouns are always singular. For example, a bunch of keys. What is my collective noun? A bunch of keys is hanging on the door. A herd of cows is grazing in the field. A group of dancers was standing on the stage. A bouquet of flowers was kept on the table. So, collective nouns will always be singular and will always take a singular verb with them. Next, there are a few words which end in S but are not plural, rather singular in nature. For example, news. If I say, this news is very bad. Here, although news is ending with an S, but that does not make it a plural noun. It is singular and therefore we've used the singular verb which is. If I give you another example, measles is a fatal disease. Measles is again name of a disease. It is ending with an S, but that does not make it plural. It is singular and therefore it has a singular verb along with it. So, my dear students, with this we come to the end of this topic, which is subject, verb and agreement. In this topic, I first told you what it is all about, that every verb in the sentence has to agree with a subject. We started with the basic rule that if a subject is singular, it will have a singular verb. If a subject is plural, it will have a plural verb. And likewise, I have shared with you all the examples, all the cases that need to be kept in mind when putting the verb in the sentence, because if you do not write the correct verb in a sentence, you will fail to get any marks. So, the rules for the same have been shared with you, have been explained to you with examples, and I hope that they were very much clear. So, I will see you all now in my next lecture.